delighted this year to be working in partnership with AIM Progress, and Louise Herring is here, and you'll hear from her in a minute. And thanks also to Clifford Chance for hosting us today in this lovely office here. Now, the purpose of the forum, I think, is known, but let's just remind ourselves to continue to raise the issue of migrant worker recruitment and the key need for both government, society, but also civil society and trade unions to work together. And in particular, the elimination of worker fees to secure employment abroad. Now, we know many of you work on this issue day in, day out, that the thousands of dollars of fees paid can make workers vulnerable to ongoing exploitation and, in the worst cases, forced labor situations. This is well known, this is well documented. It is the work of this group and everybody watching today to try and eliminate this practice. Now, the Leadership Group for Responsible Recruitment was established in 2016, a mixture of companies, civil society organizations, and UN organizations. And we decided to focus on the employer pays principle, that no worker should pay for a job. It's that simple, but it's actually very complex, as I know many of you know. And that the cost of recruitment, because there is a cost of recruitment, should be borne by the employer and not the worker. Now, this is a global movement, and we'll hear over the next 2 days the work that's being done. This is a bit of a stock take, if you like, as to what has advanced and where we all have to lean in and work harder. What progress have we been made? What progress have we made over recent years, despite the added challenges such as the COVID pandemic? Now, the good news, I suppose a small piece of good news, and I think we will hear some small pieces of good news amongst the challenges, is that more and more companies are now making public their commitment to no worker fees. And last year we launched the Responsible Recruitment Register, and I'm pleased to say that now there are 200 companies listed for making public statements to eliminate fees, and over 30 trade associations and professional bodies too. Now, we're probably missing some in the list, so please do go and check the register and let us know if you know of companies or associations that have made public commitments. And we hope, of course, these numbers will increase to go up over the weeks and months ahead. But now we move on to the question of implementation. How do we make responsible recruitment work? How to make it a reality? And how do we ensure that no worker pays for a job is a true statement and not just, if you like, something we're hoping for? Now, today's agenda will take us through a number of key issues. The link between responsible recruitment and development, the focus of first engagement between migrant workers and recruiters, amplifying worker voice and worker agency, making responsible recruitment more sustainable in economic terms, trying to weed out fraudulent job schemes, the perennial issue of the repayment of fees and other forms of remedy to workers. And I also been in conversation with Mahmoud Kutab, who is the executive director from the Workers' Welfare Committee of the Supreme Committee of the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Now, of course, last year there was a lot of focus on the World Cup and a lot of criticism too, and I will be looking back with Mahmoud as to what worked and what didn't work, but also what can we learn around major projects as we move forward. There will also be an in-person reception for you guys. Sorry for you online, you'll have to do it virtually on your own somewhere. But we'll be talking a little bit about the vulnerability of migrants in relation to humanitarian response, and also hearing from a local employer here in the New York area who operate an open hiring model, and learning about why and how that works. And tomorrow's agenda, I'm pleased to say, is the first time that the forum will focus on the transport supply chain. Transport and logistics and the workers within them are largely invisible workforces, but they are very much the workers that make the global economy work and tick. We thought about them during COVID, of course, for those stranded on board ships. The issues have not gone away. 90% of goods are transported by sea. The Maritime Labour Convention prohibits the payment of fees, but we know from recent research that it's endemic, fee payment within the sea industries. Also tomorrow, we have the growing risks of forced labour and child labour here in the US, rather depressingly. How far have we come in implementing the employer pays principle and the next steps? And then for those of you online, there'll be discussion around climate and conflict and induced migration, and Neil's interview with Saket Soni, who has written recently about the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and the way that South Asian migrant workers were exploited there. And for those of you here in person, we'll be focusing in on legislation and measurement. So some hard work tomorrow. But I do wish us all a very fruitful 2 days. Thank you for those of you who've travelled a long way to be with us. And thank you for those of you who've joined virtually. I'll now hand to our partner, Louise Herring, Executive Director of AIM Progress, to say her remarks. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Good morning, everyone. My name's Louise Herring. As John said, I'm the Executive Director of AIM Progress. And on behalf of our 44 brand and supplier members, I'd like to welcome you, those of you that are here in person and virtually, to the event, and thank the IHRB for inviting us to partner with them on what I think is a really exciting agenda that we've got planned over the next 2 days. AIM Progress is a collaborative network, and I'll come back to that word collaboration several times during the introduction. We're a collaborative network of fast-moving consumer goods brands and their suppliers who work together on common human rights issues in shared supply chains to positively impact human rights, people's lives, and ensure respect for human rights. Our members include global brands across food and beverage, cosmetics, household products, and healthcare. Why are AIM Progress so delighted to be a partner of this event? As John said, many workers, even before they step foot on a farm, on a vessel or in a production facility, accrue debts that make them vulnerable to coercion, exploitation, debt, bondage and threats. And that is why responsible recruitment remains one of the most challenging and important human rights areas for AIM Progress and our company members. How are we doing in tackling that enormous challenge? As AIM Progress, I would say, which John reflected in his comments, there has been progress. We have seen more companies making commitments to the employer pays principle. We are seeing more companies implementing their policies, implementing training, supporting suppliers, deepening the types of assessments they do. We are seeing the conversation change, and we're seeing conversations moving to an understanding that capability building needs to happen along the supply chain. But is that enough? And are we having the impact we need to have? And are we having the impact we need to have in a context which is changing rapidly and becoming massively more complex, with climate change, with conflict, and with the ongoing impacts of the COVID pandemic globally? We would argue no, not yet. And we would argue that's partly because we need to understand better what interventions work in terms of responsible recruitment and what don't. We need to look at the business models around responsible recruitment and how we can do better. We need to focus in on collaborative capacity building with supply chain partners. We need to focus in on how we can strengthen the capability of workers, and we need to build trust and be open about the challenges that we face. And to come back to the word collaboration that I talked about at the beginning, we also think that we really need to collaborate better, to open up discussions, to listen, to find common ground, to share our learnings, to double up and work together more. And that, for AIM Progress, is really what the next 2 days is all about, and the value that we see of being part of this event. So thank you again from us for being here, and I really would encourage you, whether you're in the room or whether you're online, let's find those opportunities over the next 2 days. Let's find those opportunities for common ground. Let's find those opportunities for collaboration, and let's find those opportunities for greater impact. Thank you very much.